very interesting thing. Predict the direction of the reaction from the comparison of QC and KC. Mark the incorrect statement. I give you 4 statements. A, if QC is less than KC, the reaction goes from left to right. B, if QC equal to KC, then reaction goes from right to left. C, if QC is greater than KC, reaction goes from right to left. D, if QC equal to KC, the reaction is in equilibrium. Now you have to understand what is QC and what is KC. KC is equilibrium constant. Whereas QC is reaction quotient. What is reaction quotient? Suppose a reactant is getting converted into product, and the product is getting converted into reactant at the same time. At a particular time, the equilibrium will be established. At equilibrium, the rate of forward reaction and the rate of reverse reaction will be the same. Suppose I take a container in which only reactant is present. Only reactant is present. And I take another container in which only product is present. Now what will happen if I express the equilibrium constant for this equilibrium, Kc equal to the concentration of product by the concentration of the reactant. Before attaining the equilibrium, this Kc expression is true when the equilibrium is attained. But before attaining the equilibrium, it is not a Kc. It is reaction quotient, Qc. I have only reactant. Before attaining equilibrium, what will happen? If you measure the Kc, it will be the concentration of the product and the concentration of the reactant. Now, no product or very less amount of product is formed. Therefore, this value will be very less and this value will be high. Therefore, what happens now? The Qc is a small value because the numerator is less because no product is formed so far. The denominator is of high value because what are all the things remaining in the system is more amount of reactant. Therefore, Qc is very small comparing Kc. So in this condition, Qc is small comparing Kc. Then what will happen? Slowly the Qc will become Kc by rising its value. So in order to rise its value, what should happen? The numerator value should increase. So numerator value, when it will increase, when more product is formed. When will more product be formed? When forward reaction is going on. What is forward reaction? It is from left to right. Therefore, the first statement, when Qc is less than Kc, reaction goes from left to right, is the correct statement. Suppose on this condition, only product is taken. Now more and more reactant will be formed. What will happen if you measure the Qc here? Qc is the concentration of the product by concentration of the reactant. Initially, almost nil reactant is found or very less amount of reactant is found. Therefore, here the denominator value is very small. whereas numerator value is big because the system contains only product molecule. So QC is greater than Kc now. QC is greater than Kc. So slowly the QC value has to come down so that at a particular point, the QC will be equal to Kc. At that condition, the equilibrium will be established. Here, the QC will slowly go up. And at a particular condition, QC will be equal to Kc. Then the equilibrium will be established. So here what will happen? The product will start becoming the reactant. So when QC is greater than Kc, the reverse reaction is favored. When QC is smaller than Kc, the forward reaction is favored. So the third statement, if QC is greater than Kc, the reaction goes from right to left. Right to left means it is a reverse reaction, product to reactant. So when QC is equal to Kc, the equilibrium is established. So this statement is also correct. This statement is also correct. And the wrong statement is this. So the correct option is B.